Hey guys, I'm Chris Brady from chrisbrady.com, and today I wanted to talk really briefly about ADHD in girls. I did a couple of videos on ADHD in women, and although some of the things are very similar, when we are able to catch these things at a younger age, then we're helping the self-esteem. And that's so significant for me and what I do in my work. And so I really want to just make sure that we understand the differences between the terminology that we use for boys and what we use for girls. And so I wrote out a list of some of the different things that you would see in the DSM. So when someone is being diagnosed as ADHD or having executive functioning disorder, or really any kind of learning difference, you're going to start seeing the differences in the terminology that is used. So we will talk often about, being inattentive or hyperactive or easily distracted, lack of impulse control, lack of or difficulties with emotional regulation. So these are some of the terms that we'll use straight out of the DSM. And when we're talking to girls, though, this is often not the terminology that is used. And so we want to make sure that we understand that. So a few things to take note of. I read something a very long time ago, and it's always stuck with me throughout all of my work, is that when girls are described as having a difficulty, instead of it being a difficulty that is something that we can help them with or find strategies or tactics for, it often becomes a part of their personality. And this is really damaging. So I'm going to give you some examples first step, and then we're going to talk about why this is so damaging and then what we can do to change this. So instead of inattentive, girls will often get they're a daydreamer, right? They're looking out the window. They're easily distracted by something that's going on. They're not focused on what the teacher is saying or doing. They're the daydreamer. Hyperactive or hyperactivity. The girl is often called a tomboy or a flirt. And flirt is, of course, always used in a derogatory way. Lack of impulse control. This is a huge one. Girls often get that they talk too much. They're chatty or they're rude. Difficulties with emotional regulation. Girls will often get that they're just emotional. They're dramatic. They're a drama queen, or they're really sensitive. Difficulties with short-term or working memory. The girls will often get that they're flaky, they're forgetful, they're selfish, they don't care about others. And when you have the stereotype of what little girls should act like, right, they should care about other people, they should put other people first, then this obviously is something that is really not good. When they are withdrawn or they're not listening to the conversation, girls will often get that they're just shy. They're just shy. She'll get over it. She's just shy. It's okay. When they shift focus often, girls get that they're flighty, that they're not very smart, or that they're scatterbrained. When they take time to process information, they're seen as rude and disrespectful. So I am positive that if you have been, searching YouTube for ADHD in girls and you've come across this video and you've listened to some of the terminology that I just used, I guarantee you've heard some of these words either for yourself or for your daughter. And so we want to talk about, why is this so damaging? Why is it so damaging to have some of these difficulties be attached to your personality? So if you're constantly called these names, and that's basically what they are, right? It's name calling. It's adults name calling children. Then you start to perceive it as a part of who you are, right? It's something that you can control. You don't have to be rude. You could control that, right? You don't have to interrupt me. You can control that. Why aren't you controlling that? Why aren't you controlling your rudeness? So if it's something that you can control, then every day you should just work at controlling it. It's as easy as that, right? But if it's something that you actually can't control, you have been given no strategies to learn how to control it, so you have no idea that this is something that is impulsively, it's innately a part of your brain and how it works, then you don't know that there's strategies that there are different strategies that can help you. And so you can't change it, which means you start to form guilt around not being able to control this part of who you are. You're getting all of this negative feedback for something that you should be able to control. This is really damaging. It's one of the main reasons why little girls often become the people pleasers, why they often want to become teacher's pet. I'll just do whatever she asks me to do so that she likes me, so that I feel like I belong, so that I feel some kind of love, so that I have a relationship with someone who sees potential in me, because I'll just do what she asks me to do, right? And so they grow up thinking, well, I'll just people please everyone. I'll just be able to say yes to everyone. And so you become that person that constantly says yes. And people will come to you because they know she's not going to say no. She's going to take this. She'll take this extra work. She'll take these extra hours. She will say yes. And so you take on all of this extra stuff and you pile it up on your plate, and then you realize that you can't take it all on. And so one by one, you start to let people down, because it's impossible to take on everything that you've said yes to. So you let people down, which then in turn makes you feel terrible again, right? You've let someone else down. You've proven that once again, you can't do it. You can't control these parts of you that are just characteristics of who you are, right? This should be in your control. Why can't you do this? And so when we do this, obviously this creates this inner dialogue. And after years and years of experience, of experiencing the letdowns, of experiencing the name calling, this really plays a huge role in how you think about yourself, in how you look at yourself in the mirror every single day. And so then, we start to see, okay, I'm noticing these things. I'm noticing these things even in myself. What can I do to change this? How can I make this different for my daughter? So the noticing is huge, okay? We need to notice this dialogue that we have. We use these words very often, and far more often for girls than boys. So we need to become aware of that. And the next time the teacher says one of these, please let them know, right? This is a part of our job. As a parent, we need to start advocating so that we teach our kids to advocate for themselves. This is a part of our job. So becoming aware of the dialogue you're using, and if you've been hearing these terms yourself, become aware of that inner dialogue that you're using, okay? That really kind of works your self-esteem every single day. Become aware of it so that then you can change it, okay? It becomes very automatic, especially after years and years of hearing it. So one of the major things in changing that dialogue as well is making sure that you understand just how stereotypical you might be in how you view the way girls should act and how you view the way boys should act. So if you have these very concrete definitions of how a girl should act or how a boy should act, it is far more likely that you also use some of these terms, that you will give grace to the boy who's hyperactive, but will call the girl a flirt or tomboy, right? And so it's really important to understand, because if you have these really concrete definitions and you're like, nope, a girl should, be the people pleaser. A girl should want to be, very pleasing to the teacher and not be rude and not be disrespectful. And, these are the words that you're using right off the bat. Okay, so be aware of the stereotypes that you have for each gender, because those stereotypes are going to play into the roles of each gender. Later on in your life, you will think, this is how a mom should act. This is how a dad is allowed to act, right? Those concrete definitions are going to immediately filter into the roles each gender plays. And if you are a mom, you already experience guilt. If you are a mom with ADHD who's been listening to these negative comments all your life, your guilt is through the roof, okay? Because you have these expectations of who you should be, of what your role should look like, and you're not able to meet those demands and those expectations. So I wanted to, just go over some of that. Please like and subscribe so that you get the alerts on the rest of this information. I'm going to be talking more about ADHD, but also just, executive functioning difficulties, how we can help our kids, and how we can help ourselves so that we can better help our kids. Go on over to chrisbrady.com. That's CRIS, chrisbrady.com, and check out some of my blog posts, or email me directly with any personal question that you have, because I'm very open to not only answering your question, but giving you exactly the help that you need. So I will see you guys in the next live, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Okay, talk to you soon, guys. Bye.